Hey everyone, I'm Josh.
And I'm Tess.
And this is another episode of Dirty Talk Dating, and we are here with Laura from the Sex Uneducated, which is the best sex education blog on all of the internet.
True. Facts.
Facts about life. So give us the down and dirty for people who haven't maybe seen the blog or aren't familiar with this stuff.
Yeah, the Sex Uneducated is a very inclusive, safe place to engage in a discussion about sex education, no matter who you are, your background, your orientation, your gender identity. It's a safe place for you to come and engage in me, engage in the readers. I post a lot of articles, videos, you name it, it's there, and I answer a lot of questions as well.
Yeah. The thing that I love about your point of view on your blog is it's the kind of language, obviously you're a young person yourself, and it's stuff that we didn't ever get in school.
Yeah.
And it's spoken in a way that's real, and you know, sometimes you have to get clinical, but sometimes you're not, and it's just more casual and more real than I think any other sex education is out there, and I think that's the way for people to be able to engage in it.
Totally. It does have to do with feeling okay about it and not being ashamed of your sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at a younger age as well, there's this stigma in high school, and there's always like that double standard with guys and girls, but you know, the girls that I knew in high school who were sexually active might have been considered like slutty, right? Which is totally not acceptable as far as I'm concerned, because everybody feels those things. It's whether or not we decide we want to talk about it,
right?
Be public about it, right? The term slut is kind of like, it's like a scarlet letter, especially
with
at that age and moving forward. Like, what do we think about that just the word and like what it?
So what is a slut?
What it means.
That's, to me, that's the biggest thing, is what is a slut? Mm-hmm. It's so subjective. It's like this. It's like a Loch Ness monster, you know. It's like this awful thing that actually it's a mythical creature. Because so am I a slut because I have a blog about sex? You know, a slut could be somebody who's had sex once before marriage. Mm-hmm. You know, a bisexual because they're, you know, hanging out with everybody. Like, it's way too broad, and it's gonna be, everyone is gonna have their own personal definition of what a slut is.
Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give to somebody that is being called a slut?
Well, I wouldn't take it personally, because usually when people pass judgment, I think in this case, if somebody is calling you a slut, right? I wouldn't take it personally, because usually it has to do with their own feelings about their own sexuality and their own sexual experiences, and it really has nothing to do with you. So if you can kind of have enough sense of self where somebody saying that to you isn't going to make you rethink like your character. I think that's the best advice I could possibly give. And I think too, like with dating, like we always kind of want to know, but then want to not know someone's sexual history. It's like, do I want to ask how many people have they slept with?
You have to.
But you have to.
Do you?
I don't say how many. I actually ask, but before, you know, well, you have to know their sexual history and know if they've been tested and all that sort of stuff beforehand.
Women always want to know the number. Always, for whatever reason.
I don't think
the
it's
girls that I
women.
date, it gets to like be like second, third date. Like, so how many? I'm like, how many what?
Maybe that's with you.
Yeah,
I don't think
women.
That's not all women.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to make
Josh's reputation.
Excuse me.
Josh's reputation. Josh sits down and he just looks like he's had so much.
Oh, enough. I won't divulge information.
Right.
I might.
And you have the right not
eventually.
to.
Right, because for me it's like, I won't judge you of your past, don't judge me of my past. For all you know, it could be 0 or 1.
Do you think that the women asking about your number is a segue for them to ask about your sexual health? Like, do you think that instead of going, hey, have you been tested lately, they go, how many women have you slept with?
Maybe I've actually not thought about it that way. But I have had, you know, the same thing where they just come out and ask, like, when was the last time you were tested?
Yeah, and is it ever jarring?
Awesome.
What's that?
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Whoever says that's awesome.
Right.
And I feel like the thing that I'm always telling the people who ask me questions is to just be honest. I think people are afraid to be honest because they're gonna lose something, like they'll be rejected. That's a big thing. People are always afraid of being rejected. And I honestly think that if somebody rejects you, like if somebody says like, oh my God, like why are you talking to me about this? Then
get out of there.
They just saved you.
Right.
They just saved you from dating somebody awful.
Yeah.
If the things that you're doing bring you joy, legitimately, they bring you joy, they bring you happiness, then who cares? if sleeping with 400 people makes you feel really good and you're happy with that and you're having quality exchanges, then that is the only thing that matters. And forget what anybody else says.
Yeah.
Right.
Forget it.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
So if you want to go ahead and tell us where we can find your blog.
You can find me at thesexuneducated.tumblr.com. I am there all the time. It's available to you 24/7. Please feel free to follow the blog. You can read it if you don't have a Tumblr as well, but jump in the conversation.
Yeah, and people can post on Laura's blog anonymously. Also, if you have questions for us, you can email us at dirtytalkdating@gmail.com, which some folks have really taken advantage of. Don't worry, we won't say your name or anything like that. We're going to keep it on the DL, and yeah, it's been an awesome way for us to answer some of your questions and have our guests answer your questions too.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Dirty Talk Dating. Tessa and I both have Tumblr accounts. She writes on hers a little bit more than I do. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. All of those links are in the description box below, along with Laura's as well. We'll see you guys next time.